Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. My name is Maitri Shah and today I'm going to share with you IELTS General Writing Task 1 tips, tricks and mistakes. My score was 7 in IELTS writing. I know it is not that great, but at least it helped me in totaling up my entire score at the end. So there were a couple of mistakes which I did and which I really want you to avoid. So please make sure that you watch this video till the end. I'm going to discuss my mistakes at the end. Also, before I start sharing with you tips, tricks and mistakes, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my new videos. Let's get started. First of all, talking about the time frame and the number of words for IELTS writing task 1, which is going to be letter writing. So you are supposed to write the letter in 20 minutes and the number of words should be 150 plus words. But make sure that you don't end up writing up to 200 words. I would suggest you to write between 150 to 170 words so you can complete the letter, and the examiner will also find good to go through your letter, because if you end up writing lots and lots of things in it, then they will get bored and then they will not reach up to the end. So you don't want to lose marks in that. So make sure that you write up between 150 to 170 words. So now talking about the format of IELTS letters. So I'm going to discuss a couple of formats and will also discuss with you what are the things that you should write. You can note it down, and also I'll be writing it down in my description so you can copy paste from there. So there will be 3 types of letters. It can be anything in the question paper. It might be a formal letter, a semi-formal letter or an informal letter. So let's differentiate and try to understand what are these 3 types of letter. First of all, formal letter, according to my understanding, is something which you write to a complete stranger. Formal is entirely supposed to be in a specific format. You are not going to write it in a friendly way. So formal letter can be of a request type, where you are requesting an information, where you are complaining about something, where you are applying for a job, where you are suggesting something, or where you are recommending something to someone. That person will be a complete stranger, and in that case, if at all you are given a name of the person in the letter, then you can write that name. But if nothing is given, then make sure that in the formal letter you write down dear sir or madam, not even ma'am, M-A-D-A-M, sir or madam, because you don't know who the person is to whom you are writing a letter. So make sure that in the formal letter you write down dear sir or madam. Now semi-formal letter. Semi-formal letter is written to someone whom you know little bit. So in that case, semi-formal letter could be about complaining to a landlord. You of course know your landlord. You might not be very friendly with them, but you at least know that person. It can be about explaining something to neighbor about some issue, asking for permission from a professor. So in all these cases, these are just the examples about you know that person. So it is considered as a semi-formal letter. In that case, if you are given the name of the person in the letter, you can write down dear Mr. whatever the name is, or dear Mrs. whatever the name is. If name is again not given, then make sure that you write down dear sir or madam. Informal letter. It is something that is written to a friend or a family member. Informal letter can be friendly because you know the person very well. So here there will be a couple of changes of how you start your letter. First of all, informal letter will be of different types. It can be about invitation, about thanksgiving, requesting an advice, apologizing, or if something sad has happened, then paying that kind of tribute to someone. So you know that people very well. So in that case, you are going to start your letter with dear and the name of the person. If name is given in the letter, it's okay. If name is not given, you can write a letter to your friend, considering you can write something like dear John, dear Swati, anything. You can write the name as the way you want to. So 3 types of letter: formal, semi-formal, informal. Formal and semi-formal are quite near to it, in which you start your letter by writing dear sir or madam if the name is not given. And the informal letter, you can always write dear and name of the person. Informal letter is totally friendly letter. You are writing the letter to someone you already know. Then semi-formal letter is written to someone whom you know little bit. Formal is written to someone who is a complete stranger to you. Now moving on to next. First of all, let's discuss the structure of the letter. This is a basic structure in which you are just going to change the sentences based on the question given in the exam. So first will be the salutation, which is dear sir or madam, dear name of the person. Then the first paragraph in which you should be writing 2 to 3 sentences. That will be the statement of purpose, meaning why are you writing this letter. At the end, I am also going to discuss one example so you get the clear idea. Then the second paragraph, which is going to be around 6 to 7 sentences or 5 to 6 sentences, and it will be the details about the entire situation, meaning what is exactly that you are trying to explain. In that paragraph, you are going to briefly explain that thing. Then the last paragraph will be again a smaller paragraph in which you will be giving a solution, or if you are requesting something, then you will be thanking them and you will be letting them know that you appreciate their help, or you will be letting them know that you are waiting for some kind of response. So that is going to be solution, and it is again going to be 2 to 3 sentences. And the fifth one, which is the last one, make sure that you don't forget that, and that is farewell, in which you'll be writing yours faithfully, yours sincerely, warm regards, best wishes, whatever the type of letter is. I'll also explain what has to be written in what kind of letter, but this is the basic structure. Again, salutation, statement of purpose, explanation of the situation, the request or solution, whatever you're trying to give, and farewell. Don't forget farewell. People often forget farewell, and there are chances when some examiners do deduct your marks when you don't end the letter properly. Say for example, if you are given a formal or a semi-formal letter, now both the letters are very connected with each other, so there are few sentences which you can write in either of the letters. Formal or semi-formal letter, as explained earlier, it will be type of requesting, suggesting, recommending, anything like that. So in that case, the statement of purpose, the very first paragraph, in that you are going to write, I'm going to give you a couple of sentences, you can note it down and or you can take a screenshot. So it can be, first of all, dear sir or madam in the salutation. Then in the first paragraph, you can write, I'm writing this letter with regard to, or my purpose of writing this letter to you is blah blah blah, whatever your thing is. I'm writing to express my frustration, disappointment, concern, displeasure regarding dash, whatever the situation is. Or the objective of writing my letter is, or if there is something very urgent, then you can write like, I'm writing this letter to draw your immediate attention to whatever the thing is. This is going to be your statement of purpose in formal or semi-formal letter. Now if you are given an informal letter, that means you know the person very well, so you can ask a little bit about how are they doing. So in that case, you can start the letter like this, I hope. So first of all, it would be salutation, dear John, dear whatever, I hope you are doing well. If it is with regard to a family, then you can write, I hope you and your family are doing well. It has been long time since we had a discussion. Now if the person is trying to explain you about something which is very joyful, then in return you can write something like, I hope you are doing well. It was such a joyful news to hear from you, hear about you. Remember, informal letter is supposed to be very friendly, so you can write a couple of sentences which are friendly. Now the second paragraph, which will be your explanation of the entire situation, you have to make sure that you cover the points. So I'm going to take a couple of examples through which you'll be able to understand more clearly. But talking about the last part, which is the farewell part, in that if you are given a formal or a semi-formal letter, you can write yours faithfully, yours sincerely. If you are given an informal letter, then you can write best wishes, warm regards. Now I want you to understand how your letter will be examined. So it will be tested on the basis of 4 things. which is also called 4 brand descriptors. The first one will be task achievement. Task achievement meaning whatever questions have been asked to you in the question, whatever 3 pointers will be given, if you cover it or not, that will be considered in task achievement. So you have to make sure that whatever questions you are asked in the question itself, whatever pointers you are given, you cover everything and you don't miss anything. Second is lexical resources, which is your vocabulary, your correct spellings, that will be checked. Make sure that you use some good vocabulary and don't just write simple basic words. The third thing is coherence and cohesion, which is logical ideas in paragraph. For some people it happens that they start writing the letter and then their letters don't make sense, meaning first sentence is saying something else, second is else, the end paragraph is saying something else. Don't do that mistake. Make sure that you go in a flow and that your letter makes sense to you, to the examiner, and make sure that you divide it in particular paragraph. So as I had mentioned, the first paragraph can be of 2 to 3 sentences, the middle paragraph where you're going to explain everything, it can be of 5 to 6, the last paragraph can be of 2 to 3 again. But make sure you total it up and your words are 170. And also important thing, while you prepare or while you practice your test at home, take out the printout of the original paper from Google, like how the test paper would be, and practice in that, so you will know exactly when your 150 or 170 words are ending, and then at the exam you don't have to count words. The fourth thing is grammatical range and accuracy. Now grammatical range and accuracy means that how well you frame your sentences. Make sure that you do a combination of sentences, simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, and also capitalization. It is very important. Make sure that you capitalize every alphabet which comes right after the full stop. That is important. It will be noted. So here are 4 brand descriptors on the basis of which your examiner will test your paper. So I'm going to straight away go into a couple of examples. You'll be able to see the examples on the screen. I'll explain you the letter and I'll also explain you the structure of how it is written and what exactly you should be noting down. So the very first example is of an informal letter. Now how to identify that it is an informal letter. So the question is, write a letter to your English speaking friend who is visiting you soon and asking you what presents your family would like. Write who your family consists of, what kind of presents each member would like, how you feel about your friend coming to visit. Now as you see in the question, it is already written friend, meaning it is an informal letter. So in the case of informal letter, we start our letter by writing dear, name of the friend. Dear Hannah, it was very pleasant surprise to hear from you after such a long time. Before that, you can also write that I hope you are doing well. I hope this email finds you in good health. Now first of all, I want you to note that in the letter you will be always given 3 pointers. As you see in the question, first one is who your family consists of, what kind of presents each member would like, and how you feel about your friend coming to visit. Now these 3 things are supposed to be covered in the letter. Now going on to the second paragraph, in which the person has mentioned that my parents and my younger sister too are very excited about your visit. So we are informing about the family members. It is very generous of you to ask what they would like as a present from you. Believe me, Hannah, your presence here would be the biggest gift for them. As far as material things are concerned, nowadays everything is available in India, so please don't bother yourself for this. So here in the very second paragraph, 2 things from the question are covered: who your family consists of, what kind of presents each member would like. Now we are going to address the third thing which was asked in the question in the third paragraph. So it would be great if you send me your detailed itinerary so that I can plan the best for your holiday. You know, India has such a rich historical background and I would like you to visit as much as possible. There is the Taj Mahal at Agra, which is a must see, then the Golden Temple at Amritsar, the temples of South India, the beaches of Goa and the backwaters of Kerala are all awaiting you. Fortunately, there is a summer break going on in my college, so I shall be completely at your disposal, meaning I shall be completely free for you. I'm really excited about your visit. We shall have a great holiday together and also revive some of the nostalgic memories of the great time we had 4 years ago when we were both studying at Leeds University. So that is how the third question, which was asked in the question paper, has been covered in the third paragraph. Now we are going to end the letter, so you can also write that waiting eagerly to hear from you, or waiting eagerly for you, or you can just end the letter by writing the farewell saying yours lovingly, or warm regards, best wishes, and name of the person who is writing the letter, meaning your name. You can also manipulate the name, that's okay. So this was the first example of an informal letter. Now the second example is of a semi-formal letter. So let's get started with that. Again, you'll be able to see the question on the screen. So it is, you and your family have just rented an apartment and 1 or 2 problems have occurred. Write a letter to the landlord, describe the problems and tell him what you want him to do. Now, as we read the word landlord, meaning it is someone whom we know, so it is a semi-formal letter. In that you can either write dear sir or madam, or you can start the letter with dear Mr. James. Now, when semi-formal letter and formal letter, always make sure that you use Mr. or Mrs. Don't write directly James or any other name, because it is kind of writing to a person whom you don't know nearly. So make sure that you use dear Mr. Otherwise, I would just recommend you to use dear sir or madam if the name is not given. So the very first paragraph, I'm your new tenant from apartment number 341 Harrison Street. Always make sure that you mention the apartment, or mention the address, or mention the university, mention the course if there's a question like that. So here first we are saying that which apartment. So I'm your new tenant from apartment number 341 Harrison Street. I moved in with my family 1 week ago. I'm writing this letter to appraise you, to bring to your notice some problems that we are facing in the apartment. So first we are letting them know that I'm writing this letter to inform about the problem. Now in the second paragraph we are going to mention what are the problems. The taps in the bathroom are leaking, because of which my 2-year-old daughter has slipped twice. Shower is also not working. Lock of the main door is also not aligned properly. We have to push the door hard to lock it. So the tenant is already mentioning about 2 to 3 problems. Now we are saying that what we want the landlord to do. So it is written as, all these problems need immediate action. As you have rented out so many apartments, you must be having a tie-up with some plumber and carpenter. You may call them directly or give me their contact number so that I can call them at the earliest. As you know, I have signed a lease for 1 year with you, and the rent is also on the higher side because you have included the maintenance charges in that. Hoping for a prompt action from your side, or you can also say waiting to hear from you soon, or I hope that an immediate action is taken on this matter. And then we are going to end the letter saying that yours sincerely or yours faithfully, Kiran. You can write whatever name you want to. So this was a semi-formal letter. In this case, note that in the question, the 3 pointers were not given, but there were 3 things which you had to mention. So again, back to the question, you have just rented an apartment. So you are going to tell the landlord about the apartment. Then there are problems. So the second paragraph will be about the problems, and the last paragraph will be about what you want him to do. In the question itself, it is written, describe the problem and tell him what you want him to do. So tell him what you want to do is going to be your last paragraph. Now talking about mistakes, there are 2 things which I really want you to avoid, which I have done, and that could be one possible area that I have lost marks. And also I realized that after talking with an IELTS instructor, I have a friend and who is an IELTS instructor, and I just had a discussion and I realized that that could be the reason of me losing marks. So the very first thing is that do not write more than 170 words in letter. It should be between 150 to 170. Now my mistake was that even while practicing at home, I used to end up writing 200 to 210 words, and that is the same mistake that I might have done in the exam as well. And examiners don't really read long letters and long essays. So please pay attention to the number of words while you practice at home. Make sure that you write somewhere between 150 to 170. Second mistake, do not use high vocabulary. Now I have used high vocabulary which wasn't needed. Of course, you should use good words, good vocab. Your English should sound like a professional one, but do not end up using words which you're actually not aware of and which might not even make sense. In my case, it might have happened that I had used quite a good, and I would say that much professional vocabulary which was not needed. So that could be my second mistake. So these are two mistakes which I really want you to avoid, and make sure that you use good vocabulary, you use proper sentences, you spell out every word clearly. Especially it happens that when you write faithfully, you don't end up actually writing double L, but while you're reading, you assume that you might have written double L. So when you recheck your paper, make sure that you have written all the spellings correct. It is very important. You don't want to lose marks in such silly mistakes. Make sure that you capitalize, and yeah, these are a couple of things which you should try avoiding so that you don't lose those marks here and there. So these were a couple of examples which I wanted to cover with you, and I hope that I have cleared some of your doubts regarding IELTS writing task 1. If you still have any more doubts, then please make sure that you comment below. I can try considering few more examples and clearing your doubts. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you could learn something from this video, and also make sure that you note those specific things out of the formal, semi-formal and informal letter. Just note it down, mug it up, you can use it so that you at least don't lose marks in that particular things. I hope this video was interesting, and if so, then please make sure that you like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And also I'm soon going to post writing task 2 probably in this week, so please make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you still have any other doubts, then please make sure you comment below. I'll cover it up as much as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed, take care, and all the best for IELTS. Don't be in a rush. Take your time and give your best. Thank you so much.